The UFC pound for pound list is a very controversial topic among fans, okay? Everybody has a different one. Everybody has a different thought on how it should be built. Some people say it's just skill. Other people say it's kind of accomplishments and skill. Some people take it very literally, and if you haven't moved up a weight class and become a double champ, then you don't even belong on this list, okay? Today, I'm not really here to talk about my personal rankings of the pound for pound list. I'm here to predict who will be number one all the way through to number 15 by the end of 2023. I know a lot of you guys really liked my predicting UFC champions video, my predicting pay-per-views video, all that stuff. So I'm getting back into the predictions in terms of my thoughts on where the year is going to go. And I'm going to start off with who number one pound for pound will be. I reckon it's going to be Islam Makhachev. Now, there is a caveat to this. Okay, there's a caveat to this. I think if Islam Makhachev fights Beneil Dariush, then as I said, I think Beneil Dariush has a good chance to beat him. And I could definitely see Beneil Dariush pulling the upset Leon Edwards style. And if that's the case, then I think Jon Jones will become number one pound for pound. I've just given away my number two. I think Jon Jones will be number one pound for pound. And Dariush will end up around probably eight or nine. Will end up around number 8 or 9 if he beats Islam. And Islam will drop down to maybe like number 3, okay? So number one, I'm going to just take a safe bet and say Islam Makhachev will be pound for pound number one at the end of 2023. Number two, I already said it, Jon Jones, okay? I think Jon Jones will be number two pound for pound after he beats Ciryl Gane for the heavyweight title and then defends the belt against the Sergey Pavlovich and Curtis Blades winner, or maybe Stipe before the year is done. And I can see him retiring soon as well, so I think maybe he'll look for that Stipe fight instead of a Blades Pavlovich winner. Why would he? You know what I mean? He's Jon Jones. He doesn't need to do any of that stuff. So that's my opinion. I think number one will be Islam. Number two will be Jon Jones. Number three will be Leon Edwards because he's gonna beat Usman in the trilogy, and then he's gonna fight maybe a Bilal or Colby winner because I think Khamzat might move up. But either way, I think Leon's gonna beat Usman and kind of solidify his spot at number three pound for pound. It's gonna be very hard to get him off the list after that. So number four, Alexander Volkanovski. I think he's going to lose to Islam, which may drop him down. Maybe not too far down the rankings, but especially if he defends the belt against the interim champion and maybe one more time before the end of the year, I could see him ending up still top 5, even if he is to lose to Yair Rodriguez or Josh Emmett like I predicted in that video. Either way, I think he'll still be top 5, regardless of kind of what happens to him. So that's where I'd put him. I'm gonna say number one will be Islam, number two will be Jones, three will be Leon, four will be Volkanovski, number five Alex Pereira. I think Alex Pereira is gonna beat Izzy in the rematch, and then he's gonna fight. He's gonna either fight at the end of the year for the light heavyweight belt, or he's gonna fight against Robert Whittaker. And I like his chances in kind of both of those scenarios, really. So I can definitely see Alex Pereira really shooting himself up the rankings into the top 5 pound for pound, especially with a win over Israel Adesanya, and setting himself up for big fights at light heavyweight for the belt. I'm assuming when Glover Teixeira retires, but we'll have to see. Okay, number 6. This one's gonna. All right, just sit down, just calm down, take a deep breath. Okay, number 6, pound for pound at the end of the year will be Aljamain Sterling. Okay, I know. Okay, I'm sorry to tell you. Okay, that's just how I see it happening. Okay, it's nothing personal. Okay. But look, I think Aljo beats Cejudo and O'Malley winner. Whenever that is, probably like International Fight Week. A little bit after that, like August, July, he's probably going to beat the winner of Henry Cejudo versus Sean O'Malley, which will probably happen soon for the interim belt. And then he's probably going to fight Corey Sandhagen again before the year is up, and I can see him winning that matchup as well. Or if he just fights once this year and defends his belt against the interim champion, that's going to boost him up the rankings, and especially when the guys around him are losing, or some guys that were really staples at the top lose, like Ngannou's no longer there. Adesanya is going to drop down, I believe. Charles Oliveira will drop down a bit. Kamaru Usman will kind of drop down a few spots. So I can definitely see Aljo kind of just being shuffled up because other guys around him are having movements that are bigger. You know what I mean? So that's my thoughts. I'm going to think Aljo is going to be number 6. Number 7, Israel Adesanya. I think he's going to lose to Alex Pereira, but I think he's probably more likely to bounce right back against a Sean Strickland, Paulo Costa winner, or a Delidze, or someone like that, or Duplessis. He's more likely to bounce back than a guy like Kamaru Usman, who I'll talk about next. But I just think Israel Adesanya is probably going to win at least one fight this year, even if he loses to Alex Pereira, and kind of keep his spot at like middle of the pack in pound for pound and maybe set himself up for a trilogy with Robert Whittaker if he beats Pereira, or, in my opinion, just fighting for the vacant belt when Pereira moves up to light heavyweight. So that's my thoughts. Okay, number 8, Kamaru Usman. Okay, I think he's going to lose to Leon Edwards. Might be a close fight. Might be a close decision. I don't see him getting finished again, but I wouldn't be against it. Like, hey, you know, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? I don't care. Hey, if it happens. But look, I think genuinely, I think he loses to Leon again, and then maybe he'll take some time off or come back and fight one more time before the year is done. And I can see him maybe fighting Khamzat Chimaev when he comes back before the end of the year, and then maybe I could honestly see Khamzat Chimaev winning that fight. I know that's like a big drastic downfall for Kamaru Usman, but I think just because he's getting older, he's kind of like halfway out the sport already with his acting. I can definitely see him losing like one or two more fights. And that moves on to my next spot, number 9. I'm going to say Khamzat Chimaev. I think it's probably a safe bet to say he's going to end up fighting for and winning a belt this year. And either option is going to put him really high up the rankings. Either he beats Usman and then fights Leon in like Abu Dhabi for the belt, or, you know, he fights Colby or Bilal or someone like that and then fights for the belt at welterweight, or he moves up to middleweight and gets pretty close to a title shot straight away. And I like his chances at middleweight. So I'm just going to put him like kind of middle of the pack to see where he might be. I'm going to say Khamzat Chimaev will be top 10 pound for pound before the year is over, and I'm going to put him in at number 9. Okay, so hey, if you disagree, you know, that's what it's all about, right? Number 10, Robert Whittaker. I think Robert Whittaker is going to likely fight one more time this year before he fights for a belt. And he already deserves to be pound for pound, really. Like, it's actually just, like, look at this fucking pound for pound list, dude. Dustin Poirier, Yuri Prohaska here. Me, personally, I think Robert Whittaker deserves to be above both of these guys. I think Jon Jones shouldn't be on the list at all because of inactivity, and we can slot him back in when he wins the heavyweight title, you know. I just think the fact that Dustin Poirier is on here and Robert Whittaker isn't, and Colby Covington isn't even really on the bottom of the list. Like, you know, Stipe's not on the list. He's been inactive as well. He's only had one loss recently, and he was the fucking greatest heavyweight of all time. So the pound for pound list is fucked. But regardless, I'm moving on. Number 10, I think Robert Whittaker should be it, right? Because I think, like I just said, I think he's going to fight one more time, one more fight against maybe Sean Strickland, Paulo Costa, someone like that, and then he's going to fight for the belt. So I feel like you have to give him that respect and put him on the pound for pound list. And he's going to be having upward movement this year, as opposed to my number 11, Charles Oliveira. I think he's going to lose one more time before he bounces back. I could see him losing to Dariush. I know a lot of people don't agree with me on that. I could definitely see him losing to Dariush. I really can. So I think he's going to lose to Dariush, and kind of drop down that pound for pound list to like number 11, number 10-ish. And then he'll probably bounce back against either, you know, someone like that, someone that's on the way up, maybe like a rematch with Gaethje or Poirier, or maybe he gets a McGregor fight. I don't really see that happening now. Now that he's talking about fighting Dariush, like he's probably going to want a title shot. I don't think he's going to get one. If Dariush beats him, so I think if he fights Dariush and loses, then I could see him bouncing back against like a Gamrot or a Gaethje or a Turner or someone like that, and kind of maintaining a decent spot in the pound for pound rankings, but not top 10. So I'm going to put him at number 11. Okay. Number 12, Yuri Prohaska. I'm going to say Yuri Prohaska has a good chance to come back in a title fight. He's already in number 11 with 3 fights in the UFC, which is absolutely insane. I don't know who he beat that was so pound for pound great. You know, Glover Teixeira deserves to be on here, in my opinion, but he's not, so I don't understand how Yuri Prohaska has ended up top 10 pound for pound with 3 fights in the UFC. That's fucking crazy. I'm going to put him in at number 12. If he comes back and he wins the title again, he knocks out Magomed Ankalaev, or he knocks out Glover again, finishes Glover again, then, okay, put him in the pound for pound list, you know. At number 12 as a champion in the UFC, you kind of have to give him that respect, but do I think he belongs top 10? No. Personally, no. I just don't. Who's he beat? Volkan Oezdemir, Dominic Reyes, and Glover Teixeira. That's it. So it's really not that impressive of a resume. So yeah, that's my thoughts on Yuri Prohaska and where he'll be at the end of the year. If he comes back, if Glover Teixeira retires, then I can definitely see Yuri Prohaska ending up as champion again. However, I could see Yuri beating him and Glover beating him if he's still around, and then retiring, and then Yuri Prohaska gets to fight for the vacant belt, and maybe he'll end up champion at that point. So regardless, that's where I'm going to put him. I'm going to say Glover Teixeira retires. That's why he's not on this list. All right. Number 13, Alejandro Pantoja. I think he's going to burst his way onto this list. He's not on it right now. There's two guys that are on it right now that I think he beats. So I think he's going to choke out Brandon Moreno when he fights him for the belt, and then he'll probably defend the belt against Figueiredo or who else do I have here? Defends it against Figueiredo, Nicolau, Kai Kara France, someone like that. He's going to defend it against them as well and kind of solidify his spot down here at the bottom of the pound for pound rankings with two big wins as the champion of the flyweight division now. And right below him, I'm going to put Brandon Moreno. I say he's going to beat Figueiredo in Brazil at UFC 283. He's going to be a two-time champion at flyweight, but then he's going to lose to Pantoja and probably bounce back one more time before the year is over, like at the end of the year, and kind of maintain that like mid-level spot at the bottom of the pound for pound rankings. So I'd put him at 14. All right. Number 15. This is like the hardest one, dude. This is the hardest one. Thank you if you're still watching, by the way. I appreciate it, dude. All right. Make sure you drop a like, bro. Make sure you sub, boy. Listen, number 15 is the hardest one. There's so many people that you can kind of slot in, kind of chuck up there. I'm going to say either Poirier or McGregor will be number 15 at the end of 2023. I think at least one of these two will get at least one win. And yeah, like I feel like one of these guys will win at least one fight and just get put up in this pound for pound list by the UFC. So that's kind of my number 15. I think either Poirier or McGregor ends up there. Whoever gets a win in 2023 against a better opponent. Or if McGregor wins, then he's going to be number 15 over Dustin Poirier. I can definitely see that happening. So, look, let me know what you think down below, all right? Am I wrong? Am I right? What do you think about the future? Who do you think is going to be the pound for pound best fighters in the next year? Am I right about Jon Jones jumping him all the way up from 13 to number 2? Do you think that Kamaru Usman and Israel Adesanya will stay around the pound for pound rankings? Do you think Chimaev will jump in? Let me know what you think of my thoughts down below. And make sure you subscribe as well, boys. I'll be doing more videos this week. All right. Have a good one, boys. See ya.